Yeah, a fashion show that was going to, or actually a masquerade ball that was going to happen at the Boss Place in downtown Grand Rapids. We have decided to move that to August 14th, 2022. However, instead, we are going to do a fashion show / showcase in the same place at Grand Rapids. So we'll let you know and give you the sign up sheets, and we'll pin them in the comments down below so that you will have that. By all means, if you have any comments, please put them in the comment section down below if you want, if you'd like. Also, like this video, comment down below, just say hello, that I know you're there, as well as don't forget to hit that subscribe button there, okay, that subscribe button and the notification button, so that when other videos are coming out, you will see them. Now, let me explain to you what SL Models and Talent Agency LLC is going to do for you on the YouTube channel. Now, we have expanded to a whole lot of things that are happening, and we are still expanding. I think we are expanding more now than ever, even with the pandemic. And virtually, we were able to make that happen. We have 4 major events that you don't even have to be involved with the agency. And we are right now, we just have a landing page. We're getting ready to go ahead and develop these, and they will be virtual contests with virtual award ceremonies, and it's going to be awesome. Awesome indeed. So let me explain what we plan to do. We have Moda Pageant. Moda Pageant is going to be a trademark pageant for the top king and queen, Universal Queen and King, Supermodel Queen and King. We are going to be looking at Ruby, Diamond level, King and Queen of Spades, and also Queen and King of Hearts. It's made up pun in terms for actually, excuse me, of actually being a pageant winner, and you will be represented highly. So definitely it is a professional thing, but we are accepting submissions first. So make sure that you have all the submissions prepared and that you are submitting correctly to the right areas. There's Moda Pageant for a beauty contest, and it'll be the king and queen. There are different levels. I'll talk about that in another video that's not on this topic. But we also have the Stargaze Music Festival. That's going to be a virtual festival, which will end with an award ceremony for singers, songwriters, musicians, etc. In that area, we will want you to submit there too. And by the way, these submissions are really not, they're cost effective. For the Moda Pageant, it is $25 per submission, $50 for three submissions, which you probably wouldn't go any more than 6 submissions anyway, depending if you're a queen or a king. So you would be, it would then be $100 if you were trying to go through all of the different things. And then we would be choosing whether or not you are a winner for whichever ones, but eventually the top 100 went down. That's where the world begins to vote for you. Okay, so that's what we are going to be doing here. And that's pretty much how it'll be set up with the Stargaze Music Festival as well. And then we're going to have the Pro Art Gallery. That's an online museum type art gallery. There will be different themes, so be mindful of that. Those who are involved with these virtual opportunities to submit yourself for any of these programs, you will also be signed up with us to join us in Art Pride. events as an actual performer on Art Prize. When that happens in the next year, we would be excited for you for that. So stay tuned for information on that as well. And then we have, besides that, then we also have the World Epic Talent. This is kind of like America's Top Talent almost, but on the world level. So this becomes more universal, and it brings us closer because it's a virtual event. So I cannot wait when these launch, and these are launching on March the 10th. Okay, March the 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm at Eastern Standard Time. I'm here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I also go to Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where our office is located. I have a home office here in Tennessee, but I also have a Southeastern regional office is in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are developing. So if you are interested in wanting to become a family-friendly agency owner, we are looking for an office and those to run the office in the LA region. So definitely let me know if that is something that you would be interested in. We are not looking at franchising yet, so that gets you out of that loop. However, you have to be responsible for your licensing and all that when you decide to think about joining us. Okay, especially if you're in a state where it requires a license. That's another topic for another video. So now that we got all the announcements out of the way, now I want to bring to your attention our topic. Now, I think only part of my title actually got up there. And so it is an introduction on the audition process, but let me just make it to you this way. The point of this period is that I would like the new faces to understand the process of actually, I'm gonna have to fix that as well. The process of what an agency is looking for when you are actually auditioning. Now, the good news, let me tell you a little bit more about SL Models and Talent Agency LLC. The good news about us is that we actually have 3 divisions, actually 4, but the 4th one is kind of a separate ordeal. So let me start backwards to lead me to what the topic is tonight, okay? The 4th one is actually totally separate, and that has to do with anyone that is doing filming, commercials, acting of any sort, and you are in the union, okay? We are not union franchised yet. We are not union franchised yet, so that will not happen. I cannot talk right now. Please text me. Okay. Some folks don't understand what it means that, okay, let's try it this way. I'm in a meeting. All right. So in any case, we are not union franchise, so we can't say that we are placed into something that we're not. Okay. So with that being said, we do adopt a lot of, out of respect, we adopt a lot of the obligations that the union has. Like, for example, we do have a clause in our contracts for per diem and different clauses in respect to the model and or the artists in this fact, whether you're an actor or not, that you are to be respected, different things that we have as requirements for a client, everything, all that stuff, okay, we have in the contracts. And so it determines, and then it goes straight to the third level, which is your pro celebrity, pro models with SL models and talent agency, which I'm about to explain here in a minute. So if you're in this part, you can become exclusive or non-exclusive depending on your situation. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that what you are hoping, what your intention is something that could be represented by SL Models and Talent Agency LLC. And 9 times out of 10, it can be. You just have to know the scoop behind it, behind what we are doing. So really, the other thing about top models and artists as well is that they get a lot of the direct bookings. So the direct bookings happen to be with them in regards to that. So they get a little more attention, as you probably know, for what it is that you're looking to do. Now, then you have the emerging artists and or models. Now, these folks kind of work with new faces and but in a different way. And this is where there is confusion with SL Models and Talent Agency too. Now, SL Models and Talent Agency LLC has we're adopting a training program. We have a master training program, and then we also have the new face membership training program. Either way, it starts with your audition readiness, and this is where I will be talking about that in a quick second. Your master membership training program actually ends with the performance readiness. Now, performance readiness gets you ready to become the pro. So we have everything set in stone exactly how we want it to be, okay, for SLMTA, so that you could actually function correctly within the industry and not then be confused, okay? That's the whole point of all of this. So SL Models and Talent Agency LLC, we had adopted this training program because of a few reasons, and I want to explain them because it is the main reason for tonight's discussion. We're actually heading into it now. That SL Models and Talent Agency LLC has been in the past getting diva wannabe model claiming to be model, but not actually having the functionality of a model or an artist, as to where they have references. Now, I always say everything has to be consistent, okay? And what I mean by consistency is, and now I'm used to looking up here because the Instagram scenario, so I need to look here so y'all can see how serious I am. All right, because this is very important at this point. I'm just looking up there in case there's any comments, but apparently the comments aren't really like rolling because there's an error in the app or something. So anyway, so SLMTA has adopted, because we were asking for references for portfolios, resumes, and things to that sort. But what I have noticed is that some of these from the new faces have actually not had the right poses. So they were wasting either time and or money providing us poses that they assumed they were going to be, but they wasn't really fitting the picture. So let me see, just for a lesson, let me see if I can show you what it is that I'm talking about. Now, by the way, it goes the same way for females as well, but a lot of the folks that I've been dealing with thus far, we are looking for new, emerging, and pro females as well. So we are not sexist, and we respect all sexes. We respect and honor all orientations, all races, etc. So the reason I'm mentioning that is because I don't want you to get the idea, oh, well, what you're showing me is a bunch of stuff that's males. No, I'm just kind of giving you an example. I'm going to share my screen for a split second to actually show you an example of what I mean by doing the right poses, because it's very important that you have this. Very, very important. Okay. All right, there we go. It's shared. Okay, so now on YouTube Live, you might actually be seeing this. It's going to be about 20 seconds in delay and probably a black screen there for a minute. But in any case, I am going to be sharing this and you'll be able to see it eventually. But these are the types of poses that you basically would need. Now, of course, this is the male version of the same thing, but you want to be able to pose correctly and the picture. So you see how the diagram of the picture is basically the person leaning against, but everything in the background is faded. You don't want to just pretend that it's not there or that you're not there in that situation. Same way here. Now we have the female version as well, but I'm not trying to share all the other things. But this is just an example of the type of posings that you want to do. And this is what we are looking at. There are several ways of doing this. You could do portrait photos. That is something like this with a prop. Okay. Or it could be like the outside thing where you're leaning, sitting, or standing like this. And here's another portrait one with a prop next to the person. Okay, so it kind of gives you an idea, a little bit of an act here with your hand gesture, trying to look, cute or whatever. Then you have like the headshot. That's what a headshot should look like, okay? Now, there are individuals out there that do not understand these concepts. Like, I don't want to even give you a sample at all pertaining to what type of photos I actually get. But there are samples out there. I'll just give you an example. Let's say I wanted to look cute with this cut, all right? I'm about ready to go take a sip. Snap. And then you go and you start doing like what I'm doing right now with my background in back of me. Like I'm trying to put polka dots every which way. No, I'm kidding. But, you're sitting there You're literally sitting there trying to filter or frame your type of work, and it's just not worth it. All right. So you don't want to have that. Also, you don't want to mask your face with the makeup either. This is another issue that I've been seeing, where there'll be individuals who are like, yeah, I'm the top notch. Like, I've been modeling for like 35 years, they claim. And then they sit there and they are saying, they got makeup. I mean, seriously, the clowns would actually look better than some of the folks that wear the makeup. And I don't want to give you samples of what I'm talking about, but the makeup is just way, it's either not fitting the skin or it's just way out of whack for daily processes. And then you got to figure out the flow. I mean, I could sit here all night and tell you about that. The flow or consistency of what you're wearing versus the type of lighting that you're doing, versus even if you're a female, like what type of eyeliner you want to use, what the lipstick that you're using, so that it doesn't look either too bright or too loose. And then you got makeup, and those kind of things can look kind of tedious and scary at times if you're not really doing it correctly. And it should be flowing, it should be branding out your skin, not actually making you look like something that you don't want to be at. And that's the very least that I could tell you right now on that. So when we see this in the forefront, sometimes we even ask you to redo the whole entire audition. We won't even go farther than what we needed to. Like, there's no reason. I'm not even going to ask you to do a monologue or nothing. I'm going to be like, I will be asking the questions. Who did your makeup? Why is your eyeliner poking down to the side of your eye, but you don't have anything blending it out or something like that? You know what I mean? You don't want to have that situation happening to you. Okay, then it goes to the actual audition. So what are we looking at in the audition? Now, before, my auditions used to always be like a show, and it would actually end up being more focused on training. Well, me being the executive director, agent, and CEO of my own company, and doing these live feeds now, but also controlling like 8 other companies, do not have the time to be sitting here training. So I developed a training program where there would be online training available. Okay, and it would get you through the audition process. Now, some of you, I'm not going to lie, some of you actually do not really need the training, or if you do need a training, you probably would start somewhere in the performance readiness level, okay? Meaning that you have passed the first level, all right? You have passed the interview, you know how to be professional, we'll talk about that in a minute, but you also know how to, you know how to represent yourself in a way that you're not afraid of the camera, you know your posture, you know how you are to perform, okay? And the different poses. So you may already know all that, but then it turns into, have you ever been in a performance? Do you actually have references to prove how you knew that? Some of you are self-taught and you pretty much have it down packed. Great. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend. And I'm noticing that there's that one piece of hair. Talking about professionalism. You want to make sure that everything is being consistent to what you are doing at that time. Now, if not, that is fine. We're not against you. The only time you would literally be cut from SLMTA is either A, you decide yourself that you're going to do it, or B, it was way too horrible of an audition, and we just don't see this happening. And, I'm not going to pretend and tell you to go waste some money on something that you're not going to be able to utilize. So that's where that goes as well. Now, let's talk about the audition of what you wanted to do. You want to focus on your posture. You want to be ready for the questions that could be asked. Now, I use the questions, I like to say hot seat questions. So I could probably ask you something where you're going to have to answer like this. Where's your favorite place to travel? How old was you when you first drove a car? What is the name of your first animal? What animal do you like? If there was one place you could travel today, where would it be? What is your favorite movie? Why? Can you tell me who the favorite character is in the movie? Why is he or she the favorite? That's the kind of questioning that I do. In the beginning, we basically expect you to introduce yourself the way that the interview should have been brought in. So you would basically do like what I didn't do today. Okay, and that is, hello, everyone. Welcome to Evening SLMTA Worldwide Entertainment News, where the Grammys and the Oscars and the Emmys will be showcased by, yeah. Okay, and then just continue. Now I'm working on that because I'm developing a whole introduction to my programming. This is more or less a test programming so that I can figure out like what is going on in the process of actually doing it. So you may see me out there somewhere else. You might not, I don't know, but the main important spot, I'm here. Okay, I am here, you are here. Everything is going pretty well. All right. So your introduction would be like your name. Okay, so let me give you a real quick introduction. Hi, my name is Dr. Samuel Lombardo, the Executive Director, DBA, and agent of SL Models and Talent Agency, LLC. And I have been with the agency for over 2 years now. We have began a major milestone for becoming world renowned, and we are now a member agency to the MAAI. We also have other member agencies to the Better Business Bureau, where we are accredited. We've been accredited with them for nearly a few months now through the processes, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you want to bring in some things like we have clients such as Calvin Klein, blah, blah, blah. Well, in your case, if you're a pro, you're going to slam it right on there. You're going to say, well, I am the top American model that represents, we'll throw one out there, elite models. And I've worked for Fendi, Gucci, Vogue, and many other places. And I've been on this magazine and that magazine, and I've also been part of the La 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 campaign, and boom. That would be your introduction. Simple as that. All right. Your introduction almost sounds like your bio, just minus like, come vote for me if you're like doing a campaign thing or competition, or you don't have to tell the agency that you're trying to get involved with. Oh, by the way, if you want to get in contact with me, contact my agent at, username at thisnameandcompany.com. It just, doesn't make sense to utilize those. But you'll want to bring in most of the meat of who you are, because we're going to take the notes. All right. So every audition that is done, we ask you to do an introductory video. We also, then we go into the monologues. Yes, the monologues for sure, for sure. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because if you are a new face and you're trying to become an emerging model or artist from a training agency, then you would come to us in a perspective of wanting performance readiness, not audition readiness. We would assume that you already know that, because training agencies really focus on your photo shoots and portfolios and stuff within the agency. The agency does all that. Sometimes you could land jobs in the process, job orders, castings that could lead to bookings, whatever the case may be. But we deal a lot with direct booking. So our direct booking is what is really mainly important here. So in order for you to get there, you have to show yourself as a very well-established performer. And that's where you kind of get your direct bookings from. So it's not hard for an agency to get direct booking clients. The hard part is for you to actually say that you deserve direct booking. It's when you have no references that are consistent with your performance readiness. And that's why we have a program, a training program for performance readiness. All right. It's very, very important that you understand the difference. So audition readiness is about getting you prepared. Now, we do not guarantee bookings for new faces. We guarantee exposure, and we guarantee networking. Why? Because those are the two key areas. You want to brand yourself in a way that you will be involved with the whole universe of the industry. Okay. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you sign with us, that all of a sudden you're going to have Fendi, Gucci, Calvin Klein, and them sitting there like seeing what you are doing. A lot of times they are involved with big conventions like MAAI, for example, where they have a big convention for national agencies and clients all around the world that come in and actually see you. So you want to be represented in that way. Now, the good news about performance readiness is that that gets you ready for the direct booking, which is our Celeb Pro model division within SL Models and Talent Agency. But you have to successfully be able to pass your performance readiness at a 90% or better, which is, I'm not saying that it's difficult, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of work to put into it. Now, we're not going to play school. This isn't like I'm the teacher and you're the student type of thing. There is going to be some homework, of course. You're going to be memorizing monologues and scripts until the kazoo. All right. You're going to be auditioning like crazy. Even if you don't get the audition, don't cry over you not getting the audition. You want to keep moving and moving and moving. That's why it's always good to expose you with the client. So clients at that point, they're going to sit there and listen to you and watch you, then they will be able to give you feedback. So while it may not seem real, okay, about getting a casting call, it could still lead you to the casting call if they are seeing something that really well pleases that client. And that's how we have it right now. It's important for you to understand how SL models and talent agency functions. Now, so the audition are going to have three things. There will be callbacks. That is your analysis. Okay, we call it the audition analysis now. A callback is if we see that there is a chance to build you up, then we'll go ahead and we will provide that information for you and talk to you and let you choose a membership program. Then there is the, and then there is going to be the cut, which is that we don't believe at all that we don't want you to be wasting any investment whatsoever. So we would let you know that you're cut right from the get-go. Now, if for some reason you're one of those who started out and then decided, well, this isn't for you, the refund policy is that the last day to have any kind of refund at all, 25%, is 24 hours prior to the date of starting. You get a 25% refund. 0% refund when it starts. However, we will not bill you another dollar if you happen to say that you want to cut yourself out of the program. But understand that cutting yourself out of the program is as an addendum to the mother agency contract, which is a whole nother topic for another day that I will not discuss right now. The reason that it's an addendum, why we have it as an addendum, is because we want to try to have as much opportunity for the new faces to be represented by other agencies or to be trained within our training program, but we have to do it in a way that is fair and available to all. Okay. So going back to the audition, so after that, then you would be accepted. Okay, accepted basically means whether or not we had accepted you into the program, or if you are actually the model that you say that you are, with consistent references that match your resume. And then also, or it could also be that you pass phase 1 and now you're ready for phase 2, which is performance readiness. Some folks on my roster are ready for phase 2. They don't need phase 1. But that will be determined by the establishment of our introductory class to find out who's actually passing monologue tests and whatever it is that you plan to do. Now, the reason that it's an addendum to a mother agency client, very simple and sweet, is that some may be able to do freelancing. We're not saying that just because how we do things that you cannot try doing other things to go around it, but it doesn't mean that you're out of the obligations of the actual contract. It just means that you went around the whole training process to see what you were able to do. So if you are freelancing, you have to let your producers or your casting agencies or whoever know that you are represented by SL Models and Talent Agency or whatever other agency that might be representing you. They're going to need schedules and things like that, because it still is exposure, even though that you might have gotten booked. Okay, even though that you might have gotten booked. So that exposure does help, and if it gets you into more, then really the top thing that distinguishes whether or not you are an actual pro model or not with SL models and talent agency is whether or not there are at minimum 5 references and that you have the chance to become in the union. At that point, we would know that it's and or, okay? So if you were in the union, and that's one thing. Now that might be you being an actor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you being an actor fits the bill totally as a model. There might be some things that you have to work on to become a model. So do not get these kind of things confused, because folks easily will do that. They'll think, well, I'm a professional model, I could be looking like anything, or I'm a professional actor, I could be looking like anything and still be able to model for something. It's possible. It just depends, because the trends are changing on a daily basis. So that's the whole point of the SLMTA Worldwide Entertainment News, is that I can be able to provide you the trends and everything that is going on, because there are a lot of folks. I want to also give you the trends about the Instagram thing, but I also want to provide you things that you need to be careful of. Okay, the other thing that I want to add to this video, and again, if you have any comments, please place them in the bottom on the comment section down below. You can like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and we will be glad to send you updates in our videos. Of course, this one was a little bit sluggish. This was our introductory. We're this week we're going to be changing the platform a lot from what we used to do, and so I'm excited to bring that to your attention. But in any case, I want to also tell you, there's one other thing that I want to mention about the audition thing, and then we're going to move into announcements again, and then I will conclude. So, oh wow, I didn't realize how long I was online. These videos could be extremely long, and that's why, by the way, why it is good to reach me when I am live, and I can answer the questions as you're putting them in the comment section. Because to be honest, I stay straight live for a certain length of time, take a break, and then go back and then go live. My lives aren't cut up into segments, although when I get ready and understand how to do the editing process, I will be editing the video to chop it down into pieces. So yeah, this is your chance to actually be with us live, like live. And to chat with us, give us information, questions, concerns, anything, even a comment of hello. Now, let me explain to you the other thing that is important about auditioning. And then I'm going to end with this. Auditioning at SL Models and Talent Agency is one thing. Like, we have a process because we have 4 different types of divisions that we could choose. You've heard all of that already. But in all honesty, a lot of what you're going to need to know is how to do your poses. You need to know how to do your poses. You need to understand how to memorize a monologue. I think, but that's a whole nother video, and I'm not going to explain that in this one. But I will tell you, in short, it is important that you understand memorization skills. Now, some clients may ask you to memorize a monologue, and some clients might say, I just need camera ready, and put you out there with a paper, and then you would just read it. But even if you were reading it, if you notice, I'm doing a lot of what I'm taught about tonight from memory. I'm not even anywhere near sitting here looking at my notes, even though my notes are right there. My notes are right there, but I still do not even attempt them. And the reason for it is that the notes are really there to guide you. So if you get a chance where they are actually telling you the script or the monologue before you get in, 9 times out of 10, they're expecting you to use that. Even if they tell you, oh yeah, it doesn't have to be memorized, they're expecting you to use that as a guide, but not something that you would just be like, yeah, so once upon a time, Humpty Dumpty crossed over the river, hopped over the river, ran into a landmark, the landmark bumped, he bumped into the landmark, fell off a wall, and everything else in between. And I don't know what happened, but he got out of his shell and rolled away. You know, like if I was to sit there and do that, even though I should be looking at you, it would not look right, right? I mean, even look at me right now. As I'm sitting here, I'm used to the Instagram being up there and watching the messages over here. So I'm sitting here looking at messages and all of that. Now, mind you, it's not that I don't want to interact. It's just that when I get on these lives like this, they are filled and packed. So, it's going to be, I do want to interact, and we will figure out the difference. So the interactive lives versus the actual true business lives, that's what we're going to have to work on. Because when I give you a lot of information like this, it can get about an hour long. Okay, maybe a much longer, depending. So I'm excited. Now, I just want to let you know about what this channel is going to be doing going forward. So I am still in the process, excuse me. I'm still in the process of actually working out some of the kinks as far as linking everything, because we got about 25 to 30 different platforms. So once we figure out that kink, then we're going to be okay as far as that is concerned. However, we have very good introductions, and it's going to depend on the type of video that I do. If it's worldwide entertainment news, we will introduce ourselves in a way that we are projecting worldwide entertainment news. If it's training, we will project ourselves as a way for training. If it's actual virtual events going on, they're going to be on here, but I'm also going to be live streaming them, and they will also be on YouTube TV, which will then be on other platforms such as iHeart TV, radio, etc. So there's going to be a lot of stuff already happening with SL Models and Talent Agency. We are going to be touching on entertainment news, business news. Not a business news, we are going to keep it relevant to the entertainment news. Let me explain to you what I mean as an example. Everyone knows about the EIDL grant and the EIDL loans and PPP and all that, right? But what you don't know is what types of grants are out there for as far as the industry is concerned. Now, you can, as a promoter, it's in the paperwork, as a promoter and as a talent representative, you can actually get the VSOG from the SBA. But here's the problem. There are 3 things that you have to do before you could even apply to the SBA when it becomes live, whenever it does. Right now is when you actually need to figure out what has to happen. Now, it's one thing to sit on YouTube and actually talk about how you can go ahead and do it. It's another thing to actually show you how to do it, because this kind of a thing, for some of you that do not know how to do this, because normally nonprofits get these types of grants. But because this is going to be nonprofit related, but it's also involving for-profit, it's a venues grant. Okay, there are things that you're going to have to do. And the first thing I'm going to suggest to you, even though it has nothing to do with this video, is you better just get all of your business taxes done. I'm not going to stress that out anymore. You better get it done, because if you don't, then even if you get to login.gov to sign up for an account, you're going to be stuck when it comes to sam.gov, because you're going to need all of that. They're going to audit the full process to know whether or not you actually qualify for the grant. I've already contacted many individuals relating to this, and I'm actually planning to bring a representative to actually talk live about it, to show you exactly what needs to be done, because this is not one of those idle advanced things where you could be like, yeah, let me show you the mainstream thing and blah, blah, blah. No, there are steps that you have to do. You got to get a cage number. You got to get a login number for this. You got to get a Duns and Bradstreet number. Yes, you do. You have to get a Duns and Bradstreet, like a government related number. There's a process in what you have to do. And this, by the way, I pulled up right from them. And I think I might, I don't know. I think I might be sharing that tomorrow night, where I'm going to let you watch the video straight from the SBA's website that literally tells you what you need to do. I might even do that tonight, because I'm bringing it out, and if anyone's watching, there's probably going to be somebody trying to get the idea to do it. But of course, with me not just starting out, there's not much space out there. That's why I'm saying you need to share this YouTube channel as well. What we're going to do is, for the first 100 subscribers, commenters, and likes, we are going to pick somebody out of there, and we're going to send a $100 bill to help somebody, whether it is to register the LLC or corporation or something. But SL Models and Talent Agency is planning to pay out $100 to someone who can do that. So just share, not just the video, but just share the page as a whole, subscribe, hit the notifications button, because we are going to be talking about a lot of topics on this channel that I think is going to really be great. We're going to have live guests on the channels as well. We're going to be doing events. In fact, that's the whole reason behind why I got this set up for my backup, because we're going to be doing like word games and things like that. It's part of our donation to kind of help with the tuition of what it will cost for the new faces to attend the membership training programs. So we want to, we're trying to raise money in the sense that we can do that. And this also, this motor pageant, I forgot to mention this too as well. The motor pageant, the Stargaze Music Festival virtual edition, the Pro Art Gallery, and the World Epic Talent, we are planning to give back. And actually, let me rephrase that. We're not planning. We want to give back. And part of the way that we're doing it is, while there is a membership set up that we're going to be having set up on our page, you will see that actually on our main page, you can actually sponsor. If you're a business, you can sponsor for us for these events, especially when it comes to our live red carpet, open calls and things like that when we're doing face-to-face events. So there's a whole lot of stuff that is going to be kicking, especially in the next year as well. But this year is mainly virtual still. So we are looking for the sponsors, we are looking for the donors and whatnot, and we respect that. So we want to give you that time to do so. And all of that will actually be part of the tuition aid program that we are going to be having for our new member, for our new members. But how we're going to give you an example how Motor Pageant is set up is, even though that they're paying $25 for a submission and maybe making it to the top rank, the members who actually pay to see the series on YouTube TV as well as other platforms, including a live TV, they are literally going to get 30%. All of the actual membership fee for anyone that is going to do, that's going to sign up for our programming. They're going to get, we're taking 30% from the profits of that, and we are actually going to give back to every single person that had submitted. Okay, so even if it, using simple numbers, let's say that we did $100,000 on television sales, okay, and it's 30% of that, that's 30,000, okay, but we had, say, 30,000 submitters. At 30%, and you're doing it 30,000, easy math, your $25 investment for our big investors who came in to want to see the series, so paid you out $1,000 for every submitter. So this is actually something that we want to be able to do. So the idea is to really submit, get the program alive, then we could, but try to make it something, okay? And it is worldwide, so share it with the friends and parents, share it with the friends, you know, in the UK, share it in Canada, blow it up, take it and run with it, do something with it, but don't let it just sit there and do nothing when this could be your opportunity to be the king or queen. So that's where I'm at today. I'm a person that we entice action, but the action gotta be persistent. It's gotta be persistent. It's like the references I was telling you about. The references can't just be made up. They should be flowing with what is written in your resume, not made up. So if you're that type of person that does that kind of a thing, rethink about what you're doing. That resume will be a little bit important when it comes to submission. What we are looking for in a submission technically is an intro video, and maybe you actually providing us some portfolio of professional shots, okay? And then from there, we are going to tell you the next steps, but it's not going to be that hard getting in. It's going to be now when it comes to you being the top 500 and then going down to the top 100 and so on and so forth. No, if you're picked for those, you do not have to pay for submissions again. The ones that are paying for submissions at this point are the ones that are paying for a membership to see it live. And we even have a VIP. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. A VIP set up for $25 extra just to go on Zoom, where they will, because it's gonna be on Zoom. That's where the actual performers will be at. All right, but hold out here. If you want to interact in Zoom, then you would have to pay us the $25 to do that. So that $25 and the $35 to see the series once a month is actually a pretty good deal. And there's other perks with that. So you're not paying $35 just to see a series of like whatever, however you might want to think about it. There are other perks that are involved with that, but I just want to let you know how we're setting this up. So no, you guys don't have to submit any more money if you're a submitter. No, you're actually going to be, this is where the works of your labor are going to actually pay up. And we want to be sure that you understand this. So this is going to help a little bit. It's actually an interactive way of giving stimulus by providing some very simple way of getting some work, but also getting the networking and the exposure that you need to become the next top talent, model, whatever the case may be. So this is an opportunity in a lifetime that you cannot, and I'm telling you, you cannot miss. Smash that like button just like I just did on myself. Smash that bell, that subscribe button, and subscribe, because there is going to be so much out here. I mean, it is going to blow your mind what SLMTA will be doing. So that is our live edition for tonight evening's SLMTA with worldwide entertainment news. Stay tuned for our next edition here in the next 30 minutes.